Hi guys, I just wanted to do a quick June wrap-up for you as it's already July. I don't know how that happened. June went by super fast, but I just wanted to update you on everything I've read last month before I head into this month's reading. I have already finished a book for the July, but I will talk about that at the end of July, I guess. But overall, I read 8 books in June, and it was a pretty successful month. I enjoyed most of them, and I will talk about them now. The first book that I read in the month of June was by One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. I'm not sure how you say it. And I talked about that in my 3 mini reviews. Another book that I talked about in that video as well was Hidden Bodies by Carolyn Kepnes, and I enjoyed that one as well. And then the next book that I read was It's Not Okay by Andi Dorfman. I talked about that in my first audiobook video, and so I won't get into depth about that one either because I've already talked about that and I don't want to bore you going over the same details. I also read Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. This book was, I wanted to make a video on it, but to be honest, I still don't know how I feel about it. I still am trying to process, what even to say about it. It is a book about a man who is a pedophile, and he has an interest in a young girl, and then he pursues her, and the story unfolds from there. It's a touchy subject matter for sure, but it was banned at one point, but in almost anywhere in the world, and I can see why people, sometimes books are banned for reasons that I can't even understand why people have a problem with the book. This one, I can understand where people are coming from having a problem with it. However, I do think that it's good to get outside of your comfort zone and to read about different perspectives, even if they aren't the most pleasant. And so overall, the writing was good. At times a bit slow. The ending was crazy, and I'm still trying to process it, to be honest. Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I did this as sort of a buddy read through somebody that I found on Goodreads. It was something that they were interested in reading and I was open to as well. So I'll link her channel down below. She's also on YouTube. This was definitely outside my comfort zone. It's a young adult book that's a bit of a twist on the original story of Cinderella, and it is placed in what is called in the book New Beijing, I believe, and it's kind of like a sci-fi-ish twist on the original fantasy story. I know there's a lot of videos about this book on YouTube, so obviously you guys have probably heard about it to death, but overall I found it to be a bit cheesy, a bit predictable. I can't say that I'll continue with this series, but I know this is a book that's very well loved by people who do love this genre, so if it is something that's up your alley or sounds of interest to you, go ahead and check it out. I do enjoy a bit of fairy tale retelling, so that was interesting. It kept me interested throughout the whole book. I'm glad I read it, but again, it's just not really my cup of tea, so I'm not sure that I would continue on with the series. And then the next book that I read was Intensity by Dean Koontz. It was good. I definitely read it really quickly. I think I read it in about a day and a half because it is a bit of a thriller, so you are scared, you want to know what happens, you want to know what happens next, you can't put it down because at the end of each chapter something else is happening. So the book is based on a kidnapper who, it starts off with a pretty big bang, and then it follows like this girl and this kidnapper slash murderer, and is she going to make it, and is he going to make it, and what's going to happen. And so I highly recommend this one if you're in for something a little bit scary, a little bit keep you on the edge of your seat to see what happens next. I don't often read scary books or watch scary movies because I am a big chicken, but this one I felt like I could handle, while at the same time really wanting to know what happens next, so that was really well done. The next book that I read was by Bill Bryson, and it was A Road to Little Dribbling. I forget how the ending goes, An American Traveling in Britain, I think the title is called. I enjoyed it. It was my first Bill Bryson book. I've been wanting to dive into them for some time now, And this one I ended up getting as an ebook through the library, and I enjoyed it. I think I want to go back and read some of his other books on travel. I love to travel, as we all know, so it was really interesting to read his book on travel, and I loved all of his little comments in there that were a bit sarcastic, and his viewpoints on things, and just sometimes he'd have a little anecdote that was just hilarious. It seemed like you could kind of see what his personality is like in real life, and it felt like you were just sitting down and having a conversation with him, so that was really enjoyable as well. The last book I read was Brooklyn, and I don't know how to pronounce this Irish name, which is awful because I come from an Irish background, but clearly very removed, and I wish I could pronounce all of these lovely Irish names better, but I can't, so I'm going to butcher it, but I'm going to try anyways. And it's by Colm Tóibín. I don't know. I'm sure you guys know how to pronounce it better because this is a very popular book. As we all know, it was made into a movie. And I really enjoyed this book. I, again, read this one very quickly. I was really immersed in the story, which was quite surprising since it is just following the main character on her journey through life in her early 20s, I believe. And it just what it's like to be at that age in Ireland, and then she immigrates to America, and what it was like to immigrate to America, and just her life story there. And it was just basically her day-to-day activities, but it was really interesting to get into her mindset and see where she's coming from, and it had a lot of dynamic with family ties and doing what's best for you, but what's also expected of you in society at the time, what's expected of you by your family, and it was interesting to see where that went. So I really enjoyed it, and now I want to watch the movie. All of these books, I don't have actual hard copy covers to show you because I did get them from the library over ebook. I found that this month I was really busy. It was the start of summer. I was working a lot, doing lots of activities outside, and socializing, so I just didn't get a chance to have physical copies as much, but that was the easiest for me, and I just found that then that way it got returned to the library and I didn't even have to bother to go there. It just went from the ebook copy back to the library. So that's it for me. Hopefully I read some more exciting stuff in July, and I'll keep you guys posted, and I hope you're having a great day.